What do we see in a reflection? In part, it's interpretation. It depends on who's looking, on what we want to see, and how clearly we see it. Looking at him, who do you see?
When the world looks at your son, what do you think it sees?
Unfortunately, I think they just see a kid with Down syndrome.
Yeah. That's what I want to see. Good. That's the G I know right there. That's it.
Hear me and Maga's voices, all right? Okay. Stick to punches. No problem. G-Money. 1, 2, 3. G-Money!
Now entering the room, Garrett Holla.
Whether any in the crowd here knew this was Garrett Holliv's first MMA fight, or understood what made him different from the other fighters, few understood what led him here, or why a 5-foot, 135-pound, 23-year-old man with Down syndrome wanted to step inside the ring.
Why do you fight?
I fight that makes me happy.
Why does it make you happy?
It makes me feel good.
Even before her second son was born, Susan Holliv had a sense something was wrong. In October 1989, she gave birth to Garrett, and her fears were confirmed.
They suspected that the baby had Down syndrome. He had markers, he had some characteristics, and that would have to confirm things, but that's what they felt. Of course, we were planning on taking him home. You know, that was not an option.
My goal was to give him every opportunity to develop and grow, just like I do with my other two kids, so it was no different. I want him to have a clear playing field to run, and my job is to make sure nobody gets in his way.
And what's today for you, Garrett?
Today is school.
Growing up, Garrett attended as many mainstream classes as possible, played basketball and baseball. He yearned to be included, but also rejected others who were different.
Unfortunately, he was very discriminatory against any other person with special needs. Somewhere along the line, he feels being associated with it, standing just next to another kid with Down syndrome, would reflect poorly on him, and he's going to get that label too.
Garrett is, the only way I can describe it is almost like a disability bigot.
He did not want to be called Garrett because Garrett has Down syndrome, and that's exactly what he said to me one day, is I don't want to be called Garrett because Garrett has Down syndrome and he's dead to me.
Garrett is very highly functioning for someone with Down syndrome. He reads, but at or below a third-grade level, and has the cognitive ability of an 8 or 9-year-old. He will likely live with his parents as long as anyone can foresee. Still, he understands his challenges in his own way.
Garrett, how do you think you're different from other people?
The stuff I have, like prematurely of brothers, Down syndrome, things exactly more challenging.
How does Down syndrome affect you?
It does not. I just annoyed it.
American Top Team Gym in Weston, Florida is the place Garrett spends most of his time, in training 6 days a week. He first entered the world of MMA back in 2010, after his father gently dared any of his sons to try it with him. Garrett was the only taker.
He picked up on things as quickly, if not quicker, than I did. Rolling on the ground, getting out of guard, and doing the technical moves that I was just like, wait a second, I think we have something here.
Rodrigo Ramos, known as Baga, became Garrett's trainer from the first day he entered the gym. He'd never encountered a special needs fighter before.
My very impression first was, what do I do with this guy? You know, how do I teach him? I'm harder on him than I'm on everybody else. He needs to know that life is tough, that people will sometimes be rude, be unkind. That's my philosophy with him.
In time, the sport became a passion for Garrett, at first reshaping his body.
When Garrett graduated high school, he's 5 foot tall, and he weighed about 175 pounds. And he dropped 40 pounds.
132.8.
How strong are you?
I'm a rock-solid muscle guy.
Beyond a firmer body, the sport also provided a stronger connection, with help from a former MMA fighter, Stephan Bonner.
Bonner just caught Kingsbury.
They formed a bond from the first time they met in 2011.
My first impression of Garrett is like, oh, wow, this kid's got a personality.
How about a stare down pose?
He just didn't like being the kid with Down syndrome and kid people felt sorry for. And yeah, through martial arts, he found himself. He found a passion and a purpose in his life.
There are many who train at American Top Team for the discipline, the fitness, the challenge, without ever fighting. Not Garrett.
Go, 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 stack, 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 knee under his butt.
As for whether he should be able to fight, to step inside a ring and face the risk, the answer from those around him wasn't simple, but it was clear. He wanted to, so he would.
He asked for it. I want to fight, so I guess he put 2 and 2 together. You take the classes, you do the work, you do the training, and this is where you go.
It's just something that some people have inside them. Just facing that fear and eating through it, that makes you a bigger, greater person, makes you more confident with yourself and more comfortable with yourself.
For all his training, there is an undeniable gap in Garrett's reaction time, both physically and mentally, in a fight.
I've had family members that just said to me that I'm crazy, that, you know, they've lost respect for me as a parent from the fact that I'm allowing this to happen. You're putting your son in jeopardy. How can you do that?
After competing in several soft exhibitions starting in 2011, where opponents didn't attempt a true strike or punch, Garrett found another fighter of similar size and weight in Mike Wilson, who agreed to face him.
I'm gonna make him feel what a punch feels like. I'm gonna make him feel what a slam feels like, you know? I'm not gonna be afraid to make him feel it. He has to know what punches feel like. So after this, he's gonna feel better about everything, like he actually been through a real fight.
Garrett G Money Hollick versus Monster Mike Wilson was the 9th fight of the night. The two were introduced to the crowd, given the rules, sent to their respective corners as any fighters would be. And then the bell rang and the first blow landed.
Oh my gosh, did he really just hit him like that? I was kind of hoping he was going to say, okay, I had enough. But he didn't.
I took the punch as a man.
After you got hit, did you think about quitting?
No, I will not ever back down as a fight. I will keep going.
Why?
Like fighting as mine, that changed me. Bagger changed me.
As the round went on, Garrett continued to be hit and grabbed and slammed.
I think people are scared because they saw a guy without any disability beating up on a guy with disability.
I'm sure a couple people probably are ready to take a punch at me for putting him in that situation. I'm sure people were shocked. They were, why don't you take a lamb out and just slaughter it?
As the fight continued, Garrett refused to quit. and began to show his training.
I knew in my heart that he was going to step up and that he was going to react properly, and that he had trained really, really hard.
With his opponent choosing when to strike and when not to, the fight lasted all 3 rounds.
Awesome. You did great, buddy. You want some water? Good job. Have some water.
When it was over, both hands were raised.
How did you feel when they raised your hand?
I feel that I'm real proud of myself, and then the crowd cheered for me.
I would hope that everybody that was there walked out of there knowing that don't put limits on people. You're going to be amazed what people can accomplish if you just give them that opportunity. He certainly doesn't expect that to be his last fight. You know, he's expecting his title shot at some point.
Perhaps what matters most is not in the mirror. It's in the view. The way others see Garrett, and how that helps him to see the best in himself.
One, hook, like this. Good, uppercut. Good.
Last year, Garrett started teaching classes to children at an American top team gym his father bought and placed in his son's name.
Ready? Fight. Good.
He also began teaching DJ, his first student with Down syndrome.
Why do you work with DJ?
Because I do want to help little kids, like him.